Welcome back, mere mortal lights, to another edition of the Meandering session. Outdoors, out and about. Got one over here.
Yeah, Karen over here.
And for the first time ever, I've actually made it here earlier than Karen down.
Early people.
I tried a different location to park my car. Success. And it was even in shade. So cannot be happier than that in this warm, sunny day here in Brizzy. But Meanderings, folks, it's deep conversation with a light-hearted touch, and we definitely focus on the light-heartedness in the Meandering session. So I just want to get started on a particular point over the last week and a bit. Being flat out. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It can be both. But I'm just going to give you a little snippet of the last couple of days. What would
Incorrect.
you say? What would you
I'd
say?
say no.
Being flat out is not good?
I think like 90% is pretty good.
I was
90%
going to say, like, if you were like 90% flat out with 10% of downtime?
If any time you had if you were going so hard that any random occurrence messed everything up, I think that's not good.
Oh, like if you were so committed to like the times of being like bang, 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 something goes wrong,
like
it's
if
complete all
you
over.
can't
There's no
afford
slack in the system.
If you can't afford a flat tire, if a flat tire absolutely ruins your day, you're going too hard. You need to chill out.
Would you say that any day in the past week, a flat tire wouldn't have ruined your day?
It would have been annoying, but it wouldn't have ruined my day.
True,
No,
gotcha.
No way.
Okay. Yeah, no, I would
it's
agree
not
with
like
this.
I'm looking forward to a flat tire.
I would say being flat out is a good thing in small parts, in small little portions. But yeah, I agree. If you're flat out on a day, like a whole day, then that's not good. I'm going to give you a little example of what it was like when it was not good. So we decided to go up to Rocky this past week for a work thing. And in part, the sessions we were basically doing, I believe on Thursday was 15 sessions. And on Friday there was 3 sessions. Now, give or take about 15 to 20 people in each one, and we're basically taking them through a brand new app.
Yes.
Right? In like half-hour like snippets. Bang, bang, bang. But they were all set up back to back to back to back to back with a little lunch break. That's basically it, between 7:30 in the morning all the way to 5 p.m. But in throwing all in that mix, I was still trying to do my day-to-day job. I was still trying to attend to other meetings, still trying to finish off different emails. And at the very beginning, I'm going to say, for a portion of 2 hours, between 7:30 and 9:30, or to 10, because there was a meeting I got then, I went, oh, this is awesome. I'm flat out. I'm smashing lots of things. Like I'm doing as much as I can in these sessions. Plus, I'm getting to all the things I need to get done back at the office. So I'm like, oh, this is really good. I'm going well. And then, just shortly afterwards, man, just a little bit after 10-ish, it became like, okay, no. This is now unacceptable flat out levels.
Is it just because it got repetitive though? Like you're asking the same people the same thing?
No.
It's different people.
A portion of that, but also a portion of, how long can you go being flat out and be able to put in like the same amount of energy, the same amount of effort. And for me, maybe it was tapping out at 2.5 hours of like pretty serious focus. And I was getting to the point of going like, oh man, I'm going real good. And then maybe 11 o'clock around, I'm like, oh. I just mentally, I'm like, I need a break. Like, I'd love a break just to not be thinking about this, not be thinking about something else, just be thinking about something completely different, even just like downtime. Nah, and it just kept going. And I personally felt myself going, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this is just absolutely annoying.
Well, that's the work part of work there.
I tell you, to continue on. So at the very end of the day of that Rocky trip, we went out for dinner, and I don't know, I'm gonna say this is a personal thing, but I wonder if other mere mortalites or even you, Karen, find yourself like this when it's a pretty all-consuming day. Let's say you've been doing a lot of podcast editing, or you've been doing a lot of other things that just keep you pretty busy. For some reason, I just get so hungry. Not a a similar sense where you'd get like really hungry after you go and do a massive workout for like, they say 4 hours, you go swim or something, and you're like, oh, I'm pretty hungry. Yeah, well, I got to the point at the very end of the day that I was eating dinner at like 7:30, and I ate 300 gram rump. 300 gram rump, 300 gram of what do you call it? Ribs, chips, sides, and then I had some dessert. And dude, I could have like eaten way more. And I didn't even train that day, and that wrecked me. That it was one of those I always do this. I always end up just smashing so much food at the end of such a day like that. And then because I haven't trained, it just I go into a comatose level. It makes me think of, I don't know how you wouldn't feel completely wrecked after just eating like that one main meal you eat at dinner time. Do you ever have those periods where you've had such a busy day doing, I don't know, whatever, that you get even more ravishingly hungry?
I don't know about the hunger. I I would say yes, but I'm not sure it's hunger. If it's more just you're eating, and so therefore your mind is just free to wander. Like you don't have to think about whatever it was that you were thinking about the whole day. So maybe it's just
the respite of the normal day.
It's like it's your first opportunity to really sit down, and then you're just like, I don't know, eat more. You think you're hungry and you end up eating more, but it's just to sort of prolong that
escape.
Yeah.
That escape. Maybe perhaps. I mean, I was with another individual during dinner as well, and I was just like talking basically the whole time. I partially feel like my voice is a little bit gone at the moment for those Thursday, Friday sort of sessions. Also probably from drinking on the Friday.
I would have said that.
Probably partying and also like singing. But I even felt like this on the Friday coming around is when my voice was like just raspy, just didn't want to talk as much. And I chilled out a little bit more on Friday. There was definitely a lot more chill out. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's extreme hunger from working hard. I don't know what that is. I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I get real, like honestly, I haven't worked really hard for a long time, so I can't remember particularly what that feeling was. And then it was weird for me as well, because when I used to work really hard, and I'm talking about the sort of the hard, pointless work in a way. The grinding, just got to get shit done. A lot of it's rework sort of stuff. Out at the mines, we just had a buffet, and so you could just grab as much as you want.
Gotcha.
So that one, I think you had to have some limiters anyway. Some just general, like, I'll only go for 2 plates maybe. Like,
did you limit yourself to 2 plates?
I always did, yeah. I don't think I ever went above 3.
Dude, I would be so bad with that. If it was buffet every night...
You think, but even buffet...
You just get over it?
Yeah, especially because the food doesn't really vary that much. So there's always...
Yeah, but dude, I don't vary my food very much. Like, I just love to eat the same thing.
Yeah, well, what if it's stuff you don't particularly enjoy then?
Yeah, okay. If it was something that I really don't enjoy, and there'd have to be some extremes here, because I just enjoy the most plain of food. But it would have to probably just be slop on a plate.
Yeah, no, you'd probably love it out there.
Give me some ideas. What sort of food was it?
So basically, this is what it is. You enter the dining hall, whatever they called it, and there would be basically just a bunch of Babe Maries all along the side. So if you wanted to, you could spice it up by going to the sort of cold section. So this is where they would have the lettuces and whatnot. So if you wanted to, you can get very creative with that. And there would be, cold meats and just what's some other like random sort of carby cold foods. You get, potato salads, rice, and
so it's like sizzle. It's like a sizzle you can
eat. Cold cuts of meats, that sort of thing. So there was that area which was for always had stuff, because that was for the whether it be night shift or day shift, that would always have to be plentiful. So you always had that at your disposal. The dinner area, I would say, was probably about 10 meters long in terms of and 10 meters long, 10 meters wide, and maybe 2 Babe Maries deep. Okay. So there would be a fair amount of options there, but there would almost always be fries or potatoes. There would almost always be corn or peas. There would almost
Dude, it sounds like a dream. This genuinely sounds so good.
It was very tiring. After a while, you're just like, man, what's here? And so they'd spice it up some, like every now and then there'd be like a pizza type thing that they'd create, and you're like, ooh. But then it would just be pretty standard stuff: lasagnas, pastas, things like that. So
currently, right now, I've only had brunch.
And Juan's like salivating over this.
I was thinking, just as you're talking through, I'm like, I'm gonna go get Nina's tonight. Nah, I'm gonna get some pizza. I'm gonna get a massive pizza tonight. Now that you're just talking about that, well, you can tell I'm hungry today. God damn!
But like, it's pizza where it's like pizza out of a box type thing. Everything's sort of out of a box.
Yeah,
because they just didn't have the capacity to cook, specialized meals. Everything would have to be
in bulk, basically,
to feed minimum 100 people.
Yeah,
type of thing. So. Probably no. I take that back. There was, I think, 1,000 people working at the mine site. There was 4 crews, so it'd roughly be like 200 to 250 people, give or take each.
Yeah, gotcha.
Each
well
evening. I found more variety in the breakfast, to be honest. The breakfast stuff, they would have more it was just always like cooked breakfast. So they'd have like mini chipolatas. They'd have eggs done however you want, fried or poached or whatnot. Hash browns, and like it felt to me more exciting. Probably just because I don't see breakfast. Cooked breakfasts that often.
All right,
when I was a kid, it was always like cereals and whatnot. So yeah. So
I was actually going to ask you, keeping on the theme of food, if you're a cereal man when you were younger.
Nah, no, just because I hate milk. I find it like watery. It's like water that's been spat into. That's what I think of milk.
That's why
milk is okay for cooking.
That's why I hate light milk, because it really reminds me of just like a watery milk. And like, don't get me wrong, people have mixed normal milk with water, like very diluted water, and just drank that because I'm a beast like that. But I like really creamy milk. Like super creamy. Like if it was like sloppy creamy.
You ever tried raw milk?
Probably not. Is it?
I don't know. No, I've never had it. I've just heard people talking about, raw milk. I'd try it out and whatnot. But
like, I'd want like sticky milk, dude. Like, when you warm up milk in a microwave or you heat it up and it gets a little bit sticky at the top, just because it starts like coagulating together. That's what I love, dude. I would eat it like that if it was cold.
The about extent of my milk capacities are in desserts. Okay. So it'll have to be
it's got to be mixed in. It can't be on its own.
A custard type thing.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah. Even chocolate milk, not a fan of.
But I will say, I had a creme brulee at the end of my day, and it was totally worth it. It was a great creme brulee.
I cooked a creme brulees once.
Once?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, maybe twice. I had the little lighter thing.
You have said this. You do have the little blowtorch.
The little cups. I had all the stuff, man. I went through a baking phase once.
Chef down.
Chef jiggity down.
Diggity down.
Yes.
What about you, man?
Okay. Well, I mean, like, I didn't really have a whole lot of news from this week. The main thing was, I guess, just some reflections from the Adam Curry.
Actually,
chat.
Before you get to the reflections of the Adam Curry chat, I just wanted to pull it back. So, for folks who might not normally listen to our Valley for Valley podcast, which Karen particularly ran for 18 episodes, for how long? 3 months? 4 months?
18 episodes, so one a week. Do the math.
Okay, 4.5 months. So, over 4.5 months, Karen was running that. What was the number one thing? Because that's the first podcast that you've started and finished, or at least paused. What was the one thing that you found?
The reseñas I've paused. So.
Oh, good point. Sorry. But with the Valley for Value, what was the one thing that you would take away as a bit of a learning for the other two that we currently do, which is the Immortals and the Immortals book review?
I think the way that you can run your podcast is infinitely variable. I always thought there used to be a sort of standard model. This is how like a good podcaster will do it. They'll get really good audio. They'll really focus on reducing the ums and ers and whatnot. One of the things from watching Adam operate across his different podcasts and seeing how he's doing the value for value was he would do crazy shit, man. Like, he was a real mic guy, so he'd be like coming up close and speaking real loud and like creating different sounds and all sorts of weird shit, and sometimes it will blow out your ears and then sometimes it'll be super soft.
But for what reason?
For like the dramatic effect.
Gotcha.
Because he loves doing it.
Like, boom!
And so he would be doing like all of these sorts of things, and you could look at that from the outside and be like, man, that's really sloppy. But then if you dive deeper, you see he really cares about his audio in terms of the bulk of his show. So the normal like noise gate limiters, the equalization, the inputs coming in, the ability to do different things. Like if your voice sounds grainy or tinny, he'll be able to instantly do it real time and do all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think just seeing the variability of how you can run a podcast was right up there. And then just the audience feedback, that you can integrate your audience really into the show. I think it was just, we'd never really tried that with ours before.
Yeah.
And so
well, get ready. Make sure you stick around, Me Immortal Lights, for the boostagram section this week. So make sure you stick around, because that will give you an example of, I guess, what that looks like. Question back, you started mentioning Adam Curry. Just did you get to chat much off air as well, before and afterwards?
So teensy little bit beforehand and teensy bit after, but not too much. No. It was you know. So here's a couple of like the feedback things I got. I sort of did a shit job in not giving him enough information pre-hand and also giving him too much. So I
What do you mean?
by this I mean so I listened to the podcast in 2.0 and we'd set it up 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance. Gave me a bit of time to
Get yourself ready.
do some research to really like nail down what I wanted to chat about. Honestly, I just had other things in those weeks beforehand, and through our like little emails setting it up, he'd got the impression that I wanted to sort of go through the topics beforehand to make sure he was okay with things and whatnot, which I didn't particularly want to do. But I also, it's really hard with guests knowing what level of information to provide. We did this right at the start. We created like a mere mortals
Little like
checklist
guide,
sheet.
yeah.
And by little, it was like 3 pages.
Yeah.
And then we cut it down to, I think, 2 pages and then maybe even 1 page for like a small version.
This is professional mere mortals.
Yeah,
back in
which
the
was
day.
us. Honestly, it was me and us just trying to be as kind and considerate as possible. This is how long it generally goes for. This is the sort of topics we usually go for. This is the general theme. This is what you can expect from us in terms of audio and video and whatnot. These are, just essentially just being able for someone who'd never heard of us before to look at and be like, oh, cool. I sort of get what's going to come out of this.
Yeah.
What I found with that was, one, either people would come in like super tight, I guess. Like they wouldn't be giving their best performance, I think, because they'd be thinking that it's too professional, like I'm really trying to interview and whatnot. Helicopter!
Helicopter! Do you know that song, the helicopter from TikTok at all? Have you heard it?
No.
Can you make sure you put the audio of that in here? I'll send you what the audio is, but it's helicopter audio.
I don't know about that, man. I don't like our videos getting cut because of putting audio over and shit.
True. Like, if you haven't checked that helicopter, you should.
If you can give me a link, I can put that somewhere.
All right, we'll do that.
What was I talking about? And so people would come in like too tight and whatnot. So Adam got this impression that I really wanted to go over stuff, which I didn't. But I also neglected to mention to him that we put it up on video, and so he was like, "Oh shit! If I'd known that, like, I would have, set my video up better and whatnot." He was sort of surprised, and I was like, "Oh fuck, man! Like, I feel bad because I didn't give him warning of that's what I was going to do."
So basically, Karen Down has tricked Adam Curry.
So I screwed it. Yeah,
Karen has tricked. That's the title.
Trick the
Karen
podfather.
tricks Adam Curry, the podfather, into
The
showing the
fool.
weak side of Adam on video.
Yeah.
I mean, his video quality was probably better than ours.
It was. Yeah.
But his audio quality was superb, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
That's what you get.
Crisp.
That's what you get from
16 years or whatever it is.
16. Well,
More?
so let's say like 18 years of podcast, 18 to 19 years of podcasting, and add another couple of decades of radio on top of that.
Yeah, so he's been doing that longer than we've lived.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's pretty insane.
But yeah, so that, and then there was a couple of things like me watching it where, I asked him a question and he sort of answered a different question, which was when I was wanting to know about like additions, and he thought I was talking about adding things into his own life, like money wise, and I blame myself for that. I look at a bunch of things and I'm like, I could have made that question tighter. I could have explained it better, perhaps even in a shorter way. So, it could have been smoother or gone more flowy and whatnot. So, that was my own personal little bit. And then, just some of the feedback was pretty good. Like,
Well, one of the feedbacks I was going to bring up was we had a comment on the YouTube video of it, and the individual, and I'm going to just kind of stumble across it, but it's not the exact same sentence. But basically, it was saying, pretty amazed that Adam gave 2+ hours of his time to do a podcast with relatively unknown podcasters, which I guess I'd still say we're still relatively unknown when it comes on a global scale.
yeah.
And again, and props for you for being able to actually like undertake that interview, I guess, or that conversation with Adam, and then subsequently, I think he said he subscribed along as well to the podcast.
Yeah.
Did you find it? You're looking for it? Oh no, that's why you're looking for the comment. All good.
No.
Yeah, no. So I saw that as well, and I was like,
I was going to bring up the same comment, but
in truth, it's very
I can't bring it
very
up.
true, very true in the sense of yes, we are relatively unknown, and goddamn, Adam was very gracious for the fact of giving 2+ hours of his time, which would be it's worth a mighty amount. So I guess there's a little bonus edit in terms of thank you, Adam, for obviously sticking around and tuning in and chatting with Karen for such a long time.
Yeah. So this was from Alexandra Lamar. 2 hours in that. Yeah, so he said, mad respect to both of you, the interviewer for having the balls to ask Curry for an interview on a channel with 286 subs, and Adam for accepting and going on for 2+ hours. Both legends, new sub. Thumbs up.
Very, very cool.
So that sort of thing. That one I find almost funny in a way because it felt totally natural. Like I'd been in the 2.0 community for sort of 6 months now, indirectly communicating him via boostagrams for his own show. I mean, they honestly reached out first. If anything, Adam Curry, he should be going to Adam Curry's and being like, mad respect for putting the Mere Mortals on episode 36.
True. Good point.
So like they included us in their show first, to be honest. So it was.
I still remember that fateful day. When
oh man, I was like, whoa, going crazy in the.
I still remember what the fuck is podcasting 2.0?
Yeah. Well, it was like the week afterwards where they inserted that exact clip into their own show, and that was honestly the first experience of someone, including our content in their own show, which is really cool as well. Really, really cool. It just like it makes you feel good. Makes you be like, oh, someone cares. Cool. Like someone cares enough to put our stuff in their own show. That's really fun. Some other feedbacks were just people just seem to in general be enjoying it. I can't say like it's revolutionized our show. It's not like the numbers spiked significantly.
Yeah, it wasn't Hosky level.
It wasn't Hosky level. Adam's got to get to Hosky level to get that level of fame and whatnot. But honestly, like it's just weird. It's just weird in that a year and a half ago I saw him on Joe Rogan and was like, this is the coolest fucking guy out. This is like, what?
And then be having a chat with him.
And
that was a pretty cool thing.
And then, a year and a half later, just it not only having a chat, but it feeling natural. It feeling natural to be chatting with him about cool stuff.
Yeah. So. I can't get past this bit. Got to make sure I know I've told you about it, but just to, I guess, more to share with the Mere Mortalites. And if there's any Hosky degenerates listening to this, I told you this, but just very randomly, again, on a Friday night, talking to a very senior person at my job, and he goes, hey, I listened to your podcast. And I went, that's kind of weird. I wouldn't expect you to be listening to it. And it's like, it's because I'm in the crypto community and it's all this. Anyways, long story short, he's a Hosky member. He, in fact, was in Hosky way before we were even Hosky, dude. He was there, but a long...
You say way before,
but...
I
think you were in there very early, but he must have been there, just as they bloody created this channel or something. Yeah. I was like, he was talking about it.
So maybe 2 weeks earlier.
Probably, because it wasn't created very long before you got into it.
No.
But that blew my mind. I like to have met another person with Hosky already within a month of us getting Hosky.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like you start advertising it and whatnot. Pete Bowie, who is in the Cardano community, he's a big Cardano proponent. He's got a stake pool. He's got a podcast related to it. So he walks around with a Cardano shirt on, and he just says, a lot of times people will be like, I know that. Hey, I know that thing. I know Cardano.
Yeah.
So
what about if you wear a Hosky shirt, though?
That's what I was going to say. If you're walking around with a Hosky shirt, people...
Do they have a Hosky shirt yet?
No, you'd have to create it on your own. There's a guy who apparently will get a Hosky tattoo if people send him 36 billion, I think it was.
It'll probably happen. It'll end up happening. The creators will probably end up sending him just to force a tattoo. Here's the other thing, though, just as a marketing genius mind, and just I guess to share. So Gary, right, after creating all of his NFTs, Gary V, after creating all of his NFTs, he's now starting to slowly do the collaborations with different parties, different members. Dude, every single collaboration he has done, for one, in Australia, it just sucks with the time. Everything sells out. I kind of think it's more to the point of they're forcing it so it does get sold out, so it's more limited and whatnot. But the latest one, and I don't know if you heard about this, is they did a collaboration with, I think it's Mattel. I think you say it, Mattel, which are the creators of Uno cards.
Okay.
So it's like a exclusive Uno pack, but with the V Friends combination onto it. I think they were selling for $25 US, they sold out like almost immediately, like in a couple of, like maybe an hour or something like that. They sold out. So it was $25 and they're already reselling for $100, $150 on eBay. And just pack of Uno cards. I was like, man, and people were buying like 20 packs of Uno cards. I'm like, dude, there's some craziness. But I don't know if there's another little news of the NFT world. Adidas, right? So they did a partnership with Bored Ape Yacht Club and Punks and one more that escapes my mind. Now, look at this return on investment. They bought a Bored Ape for circa 46, 50 ETH, right? And then using that, they leveraged it to create their own NFT, which was basically their Bored Ape with a type of Adidas running track. And I don't know all the details, but I think if you bought their NFT, you both get like a physical like merch, and you get the NFT copy that you got. And it sold out. They said like some places it says like it sold within 1 second. Other places it said that all the collection sold in a couple of seconds. Regardless, yeah, this collection sold out in like a few seconds, and it was 6,000 ETH that they ended up, gaining from this. So they were like, yeah, what a return on investment. Buy a Bored Ape, use that to leverage it and like resell it just for literally your Adidas merch. And what you've turned into is, like some people are saying, some of this merchandise probably, if you bought it brand new, this clothes are like $80. But now that they just added that NFT with the Bored Ape as like this is like a kind of known thing, they were selling them for 0.45 ETH, I think it is, something like that. And I was like, damn, dude, there is some logic. Like, it's cool, but it goes to me like, man, there's some logic, there's some flaws here in the logic of like, you're willing to put $3,000 for a jumper basically that you're going to get plus the NFT.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, how is this is this adding on to the crazy shit that was, so let's just say 2 years ago, basically no one knew what an NFT was. Is this stealing away from the crazy culture shit like our friend Steven will do, where he'll buy a $500, $1,000 pair of shoes and not even wear them because, it'll scuff them, essentially, and shit like that. The collectible thing. Do you reckon that's stealing from the real world of Gucci bag, fashion shit, and I honestly
I do think, man, I think it's a culture play. I think for sure.
But do you think it's stealing away from that? So, i.e., there's going to be less people in the real world buying Ray-Ban glasses to show off, and it's all moving to the digital?
I think it'll be both. I think it'll be a double up. Yeah. It'll be a combination of both. But
is it adding to it?
I think it's adding to it.
Now more people
I think it would be adding to it.
Spending their money on
I would
weird
almost
shit.
be prepared to do that myself now, where there's no way I would ever be doing that in the past.
In like a physical thing.
And you've seen it lately.
Well, I already see it with your profile
shoes.
picture.
And my shoes.
And what about the shoes?
So think about it from a shoes perspective. I've been look, it's not like Steven. I actually wear them, but I've never really like properly bought shoes in the last 3 months or something. I bought like 3 brand new shoes that are like, a certain level of like, quite nice quality. And I think it's influenced by the fact of, it's like, that exclusivity of like, that's a little bit more rarer, it's an exclusive thing. And I don't know if it's all just as now I've got like, having NFTs is kind of cool, having this sort of different, but I would say it would add to that existing, not take away.
Okay. So what you're saying is you're becoming like a bit of a slutty fashion designer, the cool kid one, pumping his kicks up, and fucking everyone's
the internal fashionista inside me is starting to come out. That's what's happening. That's starting to wear sunnies, wearing some hats. Nah, and the reality is, I think if it all went to zero, I think I'd be like, I'd just revert back to just not doing that at all. Just wearing no shoes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I'm a fan of. My fashion has definitely changed in the last couple of years, and I'm more willing to wear outrageous things, but they're not going to be good quality stuff. Like, it'll be like outrageous socks,
Gotcha.
Your dad's Christmas socks sort of thing. I'll wear them with shorts and shoes.
Yeah, well, and here's the other one, right?
But they're not like $1,000 socks.
No, but for the longest time, I would only ever wear really short socks or like ankle socks. And now I'm like super comfortable and even enjoy wearing like really colorful socks for like everything.
Yeah,
Gym,
same here. Yeah.
Going out and about, walking around. Oh, obviously the office, but yeah, just whatever random ones. I'm like, yeah, totally fine with it.
Yeah, I can't tell what the reasoning behind that is for me. Like even for my own mentality, is it? I slightly get more attention because, like me, when I go to the donation place, for example, there's another lady there, May, who's really cool. and she always wears like crazy avocado socks and the stuff you'll get from Typo. And so we'll have like sock battles and be like, "What are you wearing today, mate?" Checking out each other's weird socks.
Yep.
That's kind of fun. I enjoy that. I enjoy that aspect. I don't think I have gotten comments out in real life, like going to bars. Or
I've gotten a few.
Yeah.
I've gotten a few, but it's mostly at the gym. And I remember originally it was I was wearing them mostly for the gym for deadlifts and clean and jerks and stuff like, because you do rip the bar real close to your shins. Without it, like, you'll probably more than likely bleed. So for me, it was more of a functional thing, and then I just kind of kept wearing them all over the place. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Coolies.
Should we get into the boostagram lamps?
Yeah.
I know we've got a lot of things there.
Yeah. Do you reckon so once again, this is going to be a slightly painful process because the thing stuffed up again. And so I'm not confident I got every single one in. So can you get your phone out, read out the ones that we know for certain came through on the Discord channel, and then I will go through this and really try and get the other ones in. But once again, this is going to be really hard because there's no names attached to them. So
now, what date should I be starting from? Let me have a quick look.
Should be pretty obvious, right? Should just remember the 11th, last ones that came out.
12th, 13th. All right. Let's see. Did we talk about this one? The 3 days a week was always a bait and switch. Man, I feel gypped 10 years later. I think that's probably the beginning of it.
Well, it'd be the top level boost, wouldn't it?
From us.
Good.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to start there.
Okay.
So, first one there. Brian of London. 3 days a week was always a bait and switch. Man, I feel gypped 10 years later. 533 sats.
Ooh,
from
thank
Customatic.
you. See, they're so weird because I see it says 532
What?
over here.
Oh, who's stealing from us?
It was sat. A sat has been...
One sat's been lost.
Yeah, that's weird. Keep going.
Chad Farrow. Great episode. He's watched this on YouTube and jumped over here to send you some value. It was on Fountain. 25,000 sats.
Oh, thank you,
Chad. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I'm obviously these are all probably the ones without in curry. It goes without saying almost.
Yeah, all of these are. Yep.
Another from Petar.
Okay, now how do you say Slav?
Slav.
So
that's how I would say it.
Okay, so a good friend of ours on the Apple for the Teacher podcast, Anna, worth checking out. She was commenting on my ability to say Slav. So let me bring up the message here.
Slav.
Also, I have to mention Petar the Slav. It's so funny when you say his name, and also when you say Slav in an Oka accent. Oka, that is truly an Australian
So how do you actually
thing.
say Slav?
So when it should be SLA and then 4 R's V. Slarv, or is it Slarv?
Slarv.
You just want to add the
Slarv.
So there's Slav and then Slarv. I don't know.
Dude,
I don't think...
sounds even harder.
I'm not sure we're making it any better saying it. But anyway,
no. Anyway, so Peter sent this through Fountain. 101,010 sats.
Oh my God, Peter, you've outdone yourself, mate. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that deeply, Peter. Thank you very much. That's amazing.
What does he say?
He said value for value.
Value for value. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
am glad we did bring some value into that podcast.
Yep.
Nick from Fountain, go podcasting.
Yes.
2,222 sats. Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much.
See, this is real interesting because I'm getting some different values. So that one for me says 2,200 in the
We're losing some sats here somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think. I can go into the actual database and see
to
how
find
much
exactly
I can
what it is. Yeah.
export and whatnot. But yeah,
the last one I've got in here, and the reason I'm reading it is because I want to check with you something.
Sorry, I know what this is. So that is the full amount that comes in. 1% gets taken off and distributed to the podcasting index. So that would be
that's
why.
what it would be. Cool. The last one I just want to say is this one from the Mere Mortals from us, but let's test to see if Adam is in the value block.
Yes. So
do you want to talk quickly a little bit about that?
Yeah. So basically, I wanted to sort of thank Adam for being on the show and just go 50-50. So every boost that came in, get him half of that going to him. Unfortunately, because the podcasting 2.0 is still very early days, I can't do that myself. I had to message Dave Jones for that, and I'm not even sure he's got that in yet, because I think that is the full amount that I set myself. So
Gotcha.
I'll have to upload, recheck on that again. But
Gotcha.
I wanted to do the same for Oscar Mary and basically anyone going forward.
That's a good idea.
If they want half, like hell yeah, have half. Because not for the total show, just for that episode. But that's the
for
point.
everything forever.
Yeah.
We'll get down to like having 2% and everyone else has got everything.
Yeah, everyone gets like a significant, like half and then half again. And it's like, what's the opposite of
We're
exponential?
We keep giving away.
Inversely exponential. So there was a couple here that you got most of them, which was great. So thank you. So this one is, let me see, okay, these were for the Oscar Mary one. So these were for the Oscar Mary's podcast. Mm-hmm. So one says, "Hey, cool." I think that was from me, actually. This one, "Kyron, you door-holding son of a gun. How long after you admit I'm a podcaster does the date usually end, though?" And then smiley face. So I think this was when I was trying to explain, like, how to explain my own, like, what I do in real life, because it's fucking difficult, man. I have no idea. I don't know what should I say. I'm semi-retired. Should I say I manage my investments? Should I say I'm a podcaster? Because when people ask, they sort of assume it's a job type thing, and I don't see the podcasting as a job. It's more of a lifestyle now. Let me just see. So that was actually in the Something for Nothing episode. That was 3,300 sats. Once again, I'm guessing Petar. Sorry for all these misattributed ones. I'm going to actually take off the value for value from the Satoshi stream, the value for value podcast from the Satoshi stream, so that there shouldn't be mishaps. But
Gotcha.
We'll see. Another one from me. Another one in the morning. Hello all. So who was that? That was, dragging that across, 2313 sats. Once again, I'm
not sure who that would be.
Yeah, I'm not sure who. Definitely, it could be some value for value people from the No Agenda. So people doing value for value from No Agenda coming on. I'm sorry, people. I'm working on it. Another one was the 3 days a week that was the Brian in London one. Yep. Another one which just says in the morning. That was 4,900 sats. Thank you, anonymous person. And then there's two here which are CurioCaster links. And I'm not there. Okay, I can tell they're links for our own episode. And there's a timestamp on them for about 3 minutes in. I'm not sure what those are. Both of those are 960 sats. So, yeah, very interesting one there.
Some random stuff in there.
Did you read this one? The amazing interview, Kyron. I'll be adding this interview to my list of resources.
No.
Okay, so amazing interview, Kyron. I'll be adding this interview to my list of resources for new podcasters getting into value for value. That was 2,200 sats.
Nice.
So thank you, mysterious person. We got the value for value, got the podcasting, and then there's a bunch of my testing ones. Another one which was a CurioCaster link. I'm not sure. Was it me doing that? I can't remember. Like half of these are me just sending through.
Just testing it through.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, as you can tell, testing it because we're unsure what's happening here and being able to properly see who's sending these through.
Yeah. Once again, people, I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. But yeah, that's I think the main stuff to go over for
the boostagram
Meanderings. And yeah, honestly. I'll say it here, even though I haven't been able to call out everyone who deserves calling out. We both do really appreciate the Satoshis. Well, the Satoshis being sent through, and they're going to a good cause because I'm injecting them right back into the system.
Oh, yeah.
Even though Adam wasn't in the value block for this, and so he's missed out on the big gains of, Chad Farrow and Petar sending through huge boosts. I sent him a 200,000, I think 850 something boost to the No Agenda. The 8,000 or 8,500 whatever it was the amount of seconds he appeared on the Mere Mortals. So that was
there
my,
you go.
little thing. And then 200,000, because that was almost exactly 100 US as well. So yes, even though Adam didn't get into the value block, that the Satoshis being sent through here is just being used to propagate the system.
Exactly.
It's all going back in. What is nice nowadays is I really haven't had to inject too much of my own money back into it since the initial couple of hundred, I think.
Okay.
The Mere Mortals is sort of now accumulating enough on a week by week that my sending is equaling how much we're getting back in, which is
nice. That's good.
Which is really nice. So we do appreciate that. Enables
it enables us and it enables others as well, right?
We're
sure. Helping to enable others as well.
Yeah, I've been a huge proponent of new people coming in. If it's new podcast and I see they have Satoshi Stream enabled, and I think it's one that I can listen to. I usually try and listen to it and send them. So they get the experience of value for value. So we spread it across the world. Value for value will take over, and everything will be value for value. We won't.
When it'll happen? Look, I don't know. I'm going to guesstimate 2031 is when it's probably going to be like real streamlined.
I mean it'll be. I think it'll be really mature then. But I think there'll be like a huge podcaster starting to do it within
earlier than that?
Let's say 3 years time. 3 years time.
But I'd say it would take the general mum and pop of today till about 2030 to be properly doing it.
For sure, man. But yes, so not only can you do the value for value type sending it through through boostagrams, you can also share the show. So if you want to do it via your social media, that's awesome. But also just doing it in real life, saying like, hey, they were talking about food. Juan's got really shitty taste. I also have really shitty taste. How funny is that?
How familiar?
Yeah.
How much of a mere mortal is he?
Yeah. So random little things like that. And then there's also, if you want to help us out, like if you look at our website and you think, man, that's kind of shit, that could be better, hit us up and you want to help out, I'd appreciate
for sure, man.
that.
I'll open up the code for you. Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, me mortals, we'll leave it there for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, take care wherever you are in the world. Me mortals, one out.
Current outs.